And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that lovely Brutal OSC as we have returned with the second half of the broadcast. We just wrapped up with the group stage, 6 hours long, and the group stage has finally concluded. And now we're here in the playoff bracket. We're here to crown our champion. We're getting there. We're getting there. First, we have the upper bracket quarterfinals. We have our first series. Again, 4 matches are happening at the same time. They're happening concurrently, and we are jumping into ArT versus Aristori in a PvZ. Oh boy, here we go. When it comes to the other matches that are currently ongoing, exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys have a look at the back yourselves. We have Christiana versus Papi, we have Guard versus Trivax, and we have Rodzin versus Spirit. Many amazing players, many amazing matches are currently ongoing, but here we go. We're jumping right on in to our first quarterfinals match. And in the bottom right hand corner of Golden Aura, we have the red Protoss player from the land of Bologna representing the Platinum Heroes. It is ArT. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Zerg player from the land of Poland representing Platinum Esports. It is Aristori. Here we go. And again, I do apologize for the stream going down and then going back up. I mean, earlier the stream did fall because, you know, Twitch, we couldn't connect to Twitch on OBS. Feels bad, man. But we do have Kuro joining the production team. Kuro's handling the production, of course, and Kuro will be joining us later on in the evening for the finals, for the lower bracket finals and the upper bracket finals as well. So I won't be solo casting for the entirety of the event. Thankfully. I'm also dreading tomorrow as well. For those who are unaware, WTL is currently ongoing, and we do plan on covering WTL tomorrow before day 3, having a bit of a replay cast beforehand. So it looks like 2 days in a row we might have a 12-hour cast. It might be today and tomorrow as well. So it's a long weekend, papi. It's a long weekend full of StarCraft. Aye. But now, though, we are jumping on in. It's going to be Hatchigas full standard opener out of Aristori. Meanwhile, ArT's going for the gate expand into Cybercore. Everything's looking as it should. Everything looking standard for the time being. And we'll see where our players do take this. We'll see what kind of direction our players do take us in. Again, Aristori is not the most cheesy of players. He's pretty standard, all things considered. Not the most aggressive, not the most assertive. So we do assume that Aristori is going to be opening up in a more standard fashion. It's really on ArT where our attention does lie. What kind of tech do we go for? Pylon is thrown down a little bit closer to the chest here, so ArT potentially could go for a more aggressive start. It might be a little bit more difficult to scout. We keep an eye on the tech of choice, on whether it's a Twilight Council, a Robo, or a Stargate. Our eye is going to be on ArT. But now, we have a take of choice. Stargate has been thrown down. It's going to be the Stargate initially. And based on the rally location, it looks like it should be an Oracle opener. I'm assuming that's the case. Otherwise, if it was a Void Ray, it'd be rallied towards the Overlord. Meanwhile, across the map, third base now being taken for Aristori. Probe is being shooed away. And Aristori is just settling into his own 3-base setup. Droning, happily droning, spreading creep, establishing his third base, and settling into a longer game. We are going to be settling in. Meanwhile, we can see ArT being a little bit assertive with these initial depths. Our goal here to just get a read on what's going on, making sure there's no early gases. We can see that there's nothing really crazy going on, but ArT has to confirm no early gases, no early Roach War, no early Lair as well. He's just keeping tabs on Aristori, making sure that nothing is really off about the build. Everything's on the up and up. Meanwhile, we do have the initial Oracle. Oracle's moving out. Now, what's interesting is that ArT did follow up with a Stalker, not with another Adept. Very interesting follow-up here from ArT. Looks like he's more concerned about, hunting down the Overlord instead of dealing economic damage. The Overlord is going to fall. Link's coming to try and punish the third base. They go for the Probe. Probe is going to go down. Decent pickoff, but they don't quite delay the third. They at least get some counter damage done as the Overlord does fall. Second Oracle's on the way. And once we get into 2 Oracles, ArT can now move out across the map and thread the mineral lines of Aristori. 2 Oracles do one-shot probes or one-shot drones. They have that one-shot potential. And it's on Aristori to keep up. For now, we have a Spore in the natural alongside a Queen. We have 2 Queens in the main and 2 Queens at the third. Soon to be a Spore as well. Oh, they're transferring drones. We have two. 3 workers going to be going down. Very nice damage so far here from ArT. Catching 3 drones, dipping into the main, but is going to be zoned away by those queens. Does have to respect them. Does pull back. Behind this, ArT establishing his own third. So far, so good. Getting some nice economic damage, and following up with a massive gateway explosion. Okay, getting up to 5 gates. 5 gateways on the way, +1. Twilight Council in towards, I imagine, Blink, but this could be Charge. Keep an eye on ArT. There we go. Charge is on the way. Okay, a very aggressive follow-up. This is going to hit quite hard. It's going to hit quite fast. This is designed to catch Aristori droning. Now, thankfully, Aristori is going for a safety Roach Warren. Many players, upon seeing a Stargate, might decide to skip this, going straight into Ling Hydra. Thankfully, with the safety Roach Warren with +1 range on the way as well, we should have an army to respond to this. We should have an army to keep up, assuming Aristori doesn't drone too much. The problem is Aristori hasn't seen much across the map. He doesn't know how much danger he's about to be in. So Lings are moving out. 4 more gates on the way. It's going to be, I believe, 6 gates in total. Oh my god, sorry. Going to be 9 gates in total. Okay. That's a lot of gateways. These gateways are finishing up. Sorry, 8 gates in total, what I meant to say. So it's going to be a bit of a 3-base, 8 gate. So I want to say all in with this. I mean, it's very committed play here from ArT. As there's no Temple Archives, no Bay, no Robo, no further tech, just mass Zealots. And here we go, the Zealots are moving out. Now, thankfully, Aristori is making some safety roaches. He droned up to 61. That's just under 3-base saturation. So really conservative droning here from Aristori. He hasn't seen everything, but Aristori is playing it very safe, very close to the chest. And it will pay off. As ArT has arrived, Aristori already massing roaches. The Zealots do dive in, but we have an army to work with. Better than nothing. And Ravager morphed in, a very nice choke point. Zealots trying to get us around, but alas, there are just too many roaches. A handful of Zealots, they do bust into main. Oh my god, massive safe trap in the main base, and Ipse shaded in as well. Drones are going to be going down. But this could have been so much worse. This could have been the end of Aristori. It's still a good amount of damage, though. As Zealots are forced back. Meanwhile, Adepts in the main base being cleaned up. They only get 4 drone kills. Just 4 workers. And now ArT is vulnerable to a counterattack. As Aristori, he's been building up more and more roaches. +1 range is done. Roach speed is now done. And now's the time to move out. Aristori, as I say that though, he's droning. Is droning up. Has an army to work with. We have ArT moving out with another Zealot run by. Keeping Aristori busy. We have Zealots on the right and on the left-hand side. Aristori does split up. A very nice control from the Zerg player. Does keep up with the harass, stays trapped in the main. This time, Aristori does notice, does respond. And will pull away. Meanwhile, back at home, ArT is transitioning. We have +2, we have Blink on the way as well. Getting out of just purely Zealots into Blink Stalkers. It's still very gateway heavy, and ArT is still vulnerable to a Roach push because where are the Immortals? No Immortals, no Disruptors, no Colossus, no Storm. We're lacking high-tech units here, which means Roach Ravager can pop off. Speaking of popping up, there it is. We have a bit of a delayed German taxi. Dropper Lords are on the way. Queen's going to be filling up. They're going to be loading in. And it's all or nothing for Aristori. He barely droned as well. He only droned up to CC3. Impressive. 3-base all in, essentially. 3-base all in from Aristori, and it's all or nothing for the Zerg. He's moving out across now, trying to punish ArT. And ArT, he's going to be punished. As I mentioned before, no high-tech units. No anchor point to the army. Only Blink Stalkers and Zealots. That's all he has. Sentries are on the way, but they're Ravagers. They're Ravagers to help deal with those force fields. Yeah, Biles will connect. Stasis Trap is going to pop up. Oh my god, massive Stasis. Stasis does connect, but alas, it's still just an overwhelming Roach Ravager army, and here come the Queens. Yeah, they come in to force back the Stalkers. Boys are being pulled away. Overlord gets focused down. But there's still creep being spread. And the 3rd base is forfeit. At the same time, Zealots are wreaking havoc. Oh my god, so many drones are going down. Aristori, he was already all in to begin with. And this Zealot run by, it's wreaking havoc. 27 drone kills. Oh my god. ArT, he's crippling the economy of Aristori. Aristori is running out of steam. He's running out of units. Aristori, he's hurting so much back at home. He will clean up those Zealots. But Aristori, he needs those reinforcements. He needs them here and now. The Robo's still powered. Disruptor's on the way. ArT is fighting back. And he still has a fourth. The fourth base is still up and running. Zealots are coming in. Ravagers, they have no support. And massive Novas connecting. ArT, he's breaking through the army. Shuts down the Roach Raptor. Cleans up the Queens. The reinforcements, they arrive a little bit too late. They would need it earlier. As the Queens and Ravagers were cleaned up. The pure Roach army could still break through. They will at least get the Nexus. At least the base. But he needs more. The base is not good enough. ArT has a massive worker lead, and Aristori, has he scouted? He is aware. He is aware of the base. But he can't do anything about it. These Delarambi's, they might have won ArT the game. They might have just won him the game here. As Aristori is down to 48 drones. Barely an economy. And now ArT has Disruptors. Earlier he was lacking these Robo units, now he has Disruptors, Immortals, Dark Shrine is on the way as well. Some DT harass, meanwhile more Zealots in the main. And Aristori is being pulled apart. And the plan was solid from Aristori, like he had done well initially, defending against the Zealots, building up to a 3-base all-in. It almost worked, but this Prism, the Zealot counterattacks were insane. Aristori is looking quite desperate. Goes for a link counterattack, gets into the main base. Does scout the Dark Shrine at least. Is aware of the DTs. And back at home, Overseer, Spores. I mean, things that we can't really afford, but we have to. Spine Crawlers as well. The game is going to slow down, but I have to favor ArT here. As he's now getting a 4th base. More Disruptors, taking up towards Temple Archives. The Biles! Up! The Prism! Nice pickup. Prism goes down, finally. 4 Prism does full. Chasing down that DT. Meanwhile, no Spore. No Spore Crawler here at the 3rd base. And Aristori is punished once again. 6 drone kills. Thankfully, there is a Spore here towards the left-hand side. Meanwhile, Aristori committing to a move out. Oh, does connect with the Biles. Not bad. Biles do connect. Aristori falling back. Aristori does fall back, but ArT, he's just continuing to push on forward. Snowballing out of control. How good are the Novas going to be? Up! Not bad. First Nova does connect. Second Nova, less so. Of a panic Nova. Once again, DT does hit the 4th. Spore not quite done. Just now finishing up. As ArT does rotate over. Meanwhile, this time Aristori is ready. He's in position. Takes down the DT. Focus on the main fight. There's 1 Nova left in the chamber. The other 2 were spent. And Aristori is holding. ArT being forced back, getting fully saturated, up to 74 workers. The economy for ArT is booming. Working even on +3. +3 is on the way. We'll see if Aristori can try to recover here. Oh my god, speaking of a booming economy, what do we do with an economy? Sky Toss. Second Stargate's on the way. Fleet Beacon as well. ArT is embracing the Sky Toss. And Aristori is still trying to recover. Has a decent army size, is dragging ArT back into the main. At the same time, looking to knock down that Nexus. Making his way over. Files will connect. Gets the pylon, but ooh, gets locked down. The Novas, brutal connections. You can see here, ArT, he's struggling with the ground army, and Aristori struggling with the ground army, let alone the Sky Toss, let alone what comes next. as ArT saves his expansion, saves the base, moving out. Prism towards the main. Aristori trying to keep up. Has Lings in position, thankfully. Will defend the main. Meanwhile, back at home, carrier production has begun, a mothership as well. ArT, that was kill, not a cancel on the hatchery. And the Zealot with the warp into the main base, it does complete. Drones are going down. Lings are struggling. Remember, these are +3 Zealots. And before ArT embraces the Sky Toss, he's still just pulling Aristori apart. Getting more drone kills in the main. Engaging with the main army. Nova's going off. And ArT, he can just keep on going. He can keep pushing. Biles will zone him back. Another Zealot warping in the main base, going for the spawning pool. The spawning pool goes down. Biles do. Oh my god, massive connections with the Biles. Okay, not bad. Aristori fighting back. Gets another disruptor. Meanwhile, in the main base, spawning pool has fallen. This is the spores, the hatchery itself. Aristori has to respond. Dragged back into the main. Meanwhile, the other expansion is under fire. Oh, the Biles do connect. Disruptor goes down. But what about the expansion? What about the hatchery? And the 5th base is killed, not cancelled. Ay, ay, ay. A big loss for Aristori. And as Aristori is struggling to hold on, struggling to survive, what comes next? The Sky Toss. The carriers, Pappy. They're coming. And what shoots up? We have Vipers, and they have parasitic bombs. True. They do have power bombs. Biles technically could bring down a carrier as well. It's not easy, but it is possible. These Ravagers could pop off. But that's all we have. There is no Hydrogen. There is no Spire. There's no Queens. The Queens were killed earlier, and they actually haven't been remade. Oof, that's a little bit brutal. But 0 Queens for Aristori. And here comes the army. Here comes the killing blow. Aristori, he's close to being maxed, but the soup does lie. This is inflated army supply for Aristori with Roach Ravager. So it is smaller than it otherwise seems. It just cannot keep up. We could abduct into the spore. True. And Blinding Cloud's being thrown down. Oh my god, but now we're up to 4 carriers. And what can we do? What can Aristori do against 4 carriers? Ay, ay, ay. Biles do connect. 1 carrier almost goes down. And Aristori, he's dealing with the ground army, but not the Sky Toss army is the problem. GG gets called as ArT snowballs out of control, and ArT takes game number 1. GG. ArT does take a lead in the series, but what I will say is that was very back and forth and very close. Aristori, I do like how he handled himself in the early to mid game, defending against the charge basically all in and getting ready for a counterattack to punish his opponent, which had a lot of potential, but as we saw, as Aristori was counterattacking, there was a Zealot run by at the same time. There was a Zealot counterattack from ArT as well, and it snowballed out of control. It was able to just pull Aristori apart, got over 20 drone kills. I think it was 29 worker kills in total, and it did get out of hand. And with that, GG, well played. That is game 1 for ArT, but now we're getting into game number 2. Jumping into game 2. Let's go. We'll see where this takes us. As we're going to be loading into Oceanborn. Here we go. Going to be loading into Oceanborn instead, and yeah, we'll see if we can bounce back. I'm hoping for an ace match. I mean, based off of game 1, I do believe that Aristori can take it to ArT. It was just really unfortunate that Aristori had nothing at home to defend or wasn't able to react and respond in time to the Zealot run by. But I'm sure it's going to be a lot more on notice this time in game 2. I'm sure. And here we go. Spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Oceanborn, we have the red Polish Protoss player representing the Platinum Heroes. It is ArT. Leading the series 1-0, and spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Zerg player from land of Poland representing Platinum Esports. It is Aristori. Down in the series, but looking to bounce back here and now to force the ace match. We'll see if he can. Again, game one, Aristori was responding and reacting to the build of ArT. We'll see if ArT once again takes control of the wheel, or if Aristori is the first to really spice things up here on Oceanborn. This map is known for its all-ins, it's known for its 3-base play from the side of Zerg. So if Aristori were to be planning something like a Queen all-in, or a German taxi, or even a Queen walk across the map, this would be the map to do it. Would be the map to do it on. As ArT does poke in, getting a scout in the main. Aristori going for a hatch gas pool standard opener from our Zerg player. Likewise, standard opener out of ArT, going gate expand into Cybercore as well. Everything looking as it should. Everything looking standard so far. We'll keep an eye on any kind of divergence here. As ArT is being so annoying in the main. Just trying to disrupt the mining, disrupt the economy. Being very persistent. And does force a little bit of inefficient mining, but just a little. As the probe now has to escape, Lings are on the way. And Aristori can now embrace a third. Meanwhile, the pylon has been thrown down closer to the edge of the main base this time, so it looks like another Stargate opener out of ArT. As a reminder, in game one, ArT did go for a double Oracle opener into just basically a 3-base charge all-in off of 8 gateways. I don't expect that same build again, though. I mean, I expect, double or triple Oracle into a Twilight Council, but whether we go into Glaives or +1 Blink, yet to be determined. I'm leaning more in that direction this time. Not charge. Especially since the initial charge also didn't really get the damage that ArT was hoping for. We'll see. Third base now on the way. Ooh, a very greedy third base out of ArT. This is a third base before the Stargate is even done. Okay, usually you wait a little bit longer here. But this is a third base with only 2 units as well, just off the 1 gateway. So ArT is cutting corners. And we'll get away with it. Link speed just now finishing. Aristori headed towards the third base. We'll confirm that it's already on the way. It's already halfway done. And there's not much that Aristori can do about it. So, very fast third. Very greedy play out of ArT. And the punish is not there. Warp gate now finishing. First Oracle zooming across the map. And back at home, Aristori is ready. We have 1 Spore at the natural. 2 Queens in the main. And Aristori going for a very early Roach Warren. That is a 4-minute Roach Warren. Oh my god. You would never throw it down this early against a Stargate, and I mean, Aristori is aware of the Stargate, so I'm leaning towards an all-in. More Queens are on the way. For now, we are droning, that is true, but we might not be droning for much longer. Yeah, Lair is on the way, 4-minute 30 Lair. Oracles do have eyes on the Roach Warren timing. This could just be a really safe Roach Warren, I guess, technically. Oh my god, as we punish the Oracle! 1 Oracle goes down. But it could just be a really safe Roach Warren. It could be possible here that maybe Aristori was afraid that it was going to be more committed and was actually early a Twilight Council. As I'd say, Shade, not into the natural, but into the third. Drones are going down. Ooh, and Aristori is being punished very hard here for skipping out on Lings. 7 drones go down. And based on the droning that we're seeing, it looks like this Roach Warren was for safety, and we're not making roaches yet. But a very strong start for ArT. He forced an inefficient opener with the early Roach Warren. He got 7 drone kills. He escapes with most of the Adepts. And the Oracles are still wreaking havoc with those stasis traps. So Aristori, he is in a bit of a rougher position here. Going Roach Hydra. The Hydra Den is spotted by the Oracle as well. ArT is fully aware. And this has been a rough start for Aristori, but we'll see if he can recover. He's droning, taking gases, being quite greedy. Meanwhile, oh, that's another charge timing. Oh no. So this is very similar to what we saw last game. That's a 6 gateway explosion in addition to the 2 that we already have. So it's going to be 8 gates. And this move out is going to hit like a truck. It's going to be very intense. And the problem is that Aristori is skipping roaches. Roach speed is on the way, and we're droning. Bailey Nest as well. Like, we're taking up quite heavily. But Aristori has no army right now. And I'm curious what he's going to spend his lava on. Hydras. It looks like Ling Hydra. And that means that if we skip roaches, we're going to be vulnerable. The Zerg player is going to be vulnerable to this move out. As ArT is getting ready, massing up more sentries, more Archons. Hydras are amassing. 4th base being taken, and here we go, we're moving out. And remember, ArT can warp in 8 units at a time. Is supply blocked, whether we go 5 pylons are thrown down. Again, tells us that ArT wants to reinforce quite heavily with this army. And we'll see if Aristori can survive this. So there we go. Zealots are on the way. Archons and Immortals have arrived. And it is going to be 12 Hydras and 4 Roaches to defend. The Hydras are doing a lot of DPS in the back line, though. Okay, they bring down most of those Zealots. So far, so good. Archons are trying to break through. The Archons are getting low. 1 Archon goes down. Just the 1 Archon, though. We have another wave of reinforcements, and we're breaking through the Hydras again. Aristori, he did skip out on Roaches, and the Hydras are so vulnerable. They go down in an instant. And it looks like ArT has done it. He breaks the 4th base. Lings and Roaches are trickling in, but there's just barely an army left. There's barely anything left for Aristori. Again, a very, very just powerful build here from ArT. It hits so hard, and Aristori was cutting corners. He was essentially going Ling Hydra. And with these Hydra reinforcements, Aristori will hold on. He will force back the army, but he lost the base. Oh, the Hydra! Oh my god. They almost get the Immortal. No, the Hydras are getting caught out. More Zealots are coming in. And ArT, he can keep fighting. He can keep going. The Immortals are low, but the Prism is there to juggle, to micro. Stasis trap in the main. Massive stasis goes off. 4th base was killed. And interesting, ArT, instead of continuing his push, he recalls back home. Does go for the recall. Aristori survives, but ArT is up on bases. ArT is up on economy. Up in army as well. Aristori has some catching up to do. Does have some catching up to do. The Prism! Oh, not bad. Okay. Not a bad start. Prism and 2 Archons go down. Okay. The first step on the road to recovery has been taken by Aristori. But what I'm concerned by, and this makes sense, ArT has a lead. ArT has 4 bases. What do you do? +1 air attack, 2nd Stargate, Fleet Beacon, Sky Toss. I mean, this just makes sense. Like, ArT, he's just rushing into Sky Toss because he knows he can. And he knows that Aristori can't stop him. Meanwhile, ArT spots the new would-be 4th. Getting ready for another move out. Yeah, ArT is pushing in. At the same time, Zella run by into the natural. 4th base under fire. Aristori is keeping up. Has some Roach Hydra. Wow connects. Oh, Storm is done. And we're waiting for those storms. Ooh, first one turns, but no big connection yet. But the Zealots get into the mineral line. It's going to be 23 drone kills. Oh my god. And can they get the base? It's getting low. Yeah, one more swipe. At last, the hatchery barely survives. Zelts in the main base were cleaned up, but they wreaked havoc to the natural. They wreaked havoc here at the fourth. 25 drone kills is insane. And ArT, I'm sure he wants that hatchery. He's so close to bringing it down. The main army did pull back. Zelts once again into the natural. Lurkers are on the way. If we can get into Lunker Tech, we can survive. We can hold the line. Oh, that's a massive warp in the main base. Don't like this. Zelts in the third, the natural, and the main as well. Every single base is going to be flashing red, full of zealots. And Aristori just cannot keep up. And ArT, he wants that hatchery. One shot and it's going to go down. He wants it. He gets it. The hatchery falls. The hive as well. Yeah, there is no saving it. Aristori is being pulled apart. GG gets called. He doesn't even get to witness the sky toss. And ArT will take the series 2-0, advancing on to the upper bracket semifinals. Whew. GG. Very impressive stuff there from ArT. Very impressive performance. Hyper aggression, both in game 1 and in game 2. In the end, does take the series. My condolences to Aristori. I do think that game 1 was very close. Game 1 was very close. Game 2, it felt like Aristori was playing scared. It felt like Aristori was, yeah, he was just second guessing himself a little bit. He opened up Roach Horn, if you remember, Roach Horn that he did not need. Likewise, was trying to recover and rushing into Hydras afterwards. Was punished for it, was caught off guard. Yeah, just alas, ArT was all over game 1 and game 2, and congratulations. All right, we'll advance on. And now we can take a moment here to have a look at the bracket. Oh boy. Let us have a look here. Figure out if there are any other matches that have been wrapping up. We have, of course, ArT advancing on. He's going to be facing off against the winner of Rodzen and Spirit. As a reminder, both upper bracket semis will be cast on the channel. Both semis will be casted. So we do have plenty more matches up ahead of us. And I guess for now, we're going to be lying in wait. We're going to be waiting for our next players to get ready for the results to come in. And yeah, we're going to be going on a short break as a result. We're going to be going on a short break. Take this moment, get some snacks, get some water, get some food, get ready for the night to come. It's 1 a.m. here in Australia. It's 1 a.m. We've been casting for quite some time now. We gotta keep going. It's okay. We'll be back soon in a couple of minutes. Until then, take this moment to drain your disruptors, massage your marines, hydrate your hydras. We'll be back soon with our next series. See you soon.